Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool Williams pinball repair video for you. We've been working on this Grand Prix for quite a while now. This was one of the last EMs that Williams made, so the thing is jam-packed. We've done several videos working on it and fixing it up, but we're down to we need to actually troubleshoot some of the last little few things with it. It's up and running, but it's not running right. So what I've done is I've got a pad of paper here. We're going to play it a little bit, and I'm going to test everything, and whatever doesn't work right, we're going to write it down and then fix it. This is our buddy, Mr. Mingus, his printing company down the road. He prints these out for, well, you know, he prints these out, and then he brings us some. So, I've written two things down here. Now, this is in a language that I completely understand. If you don't understand it, that's on you. I can tell exactly what it says. It says, flipper machine gunning. I originally wrote shotgunning, but that's if you just replace everything. Flipper machine gunning. So I kind of corrected it. That clearly says flipper machine gunning. And then the other one says 10,000 reel on the third player. Look, people. Now, if I can read it, how is it bad handwriting? And the 10,000 reel on the third player, we had a problem where it didn't reset. And we reset it by hand, but we'll have to mess with it a little bit. So we've got that. Another one was these red arrows on the right are not lighting up. So red arrows on right are not lighting. See? Clear as day. So we're going to start a game, play it a little bit, see what works and what doesn't, write it down, and then troubleshoot it through the schematics. So let's start a one-player game. It reset, and it kicked the ball out. Okay? It says ball in play 1, and 1 to 4 can play 1. So let's try a second player. That worked as well. Third player, that worked as well. Fourth player, now if I hit it again, it shouldn't start anything. And it doesn't. Okay, so that's working good. Alright, so we're going to act like, oh, we got the fake number. See, one of the problems with being left-handed is there's nothing to hold this down because I'm over here. If I was writing from over here with my right hand, I'd be holding the paper down. Or if I was writing from this side like I was Japanese, probably be alright. The fake number on first player. I taped that in there and it popped up. I might fix that. Alright, so let's play it a little bit and see if everything scores right. Okay, so since it's kicked the ball out and there's no switch in the lane, we don't have to take the ball off the switch. So in a lot of games, let's see if I can find one. Well, I can't prove it to you at the moment. Let's go over here. Let's see here. I'm looking. Boop, 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 boop. Ah. So in some games there is a switch that it lands on. And so if you're going to play around touching switches and stuff, you have to make sure that the ball is not sitting on that switch. But there isn't one on this one. So in other words, it doesn't know where the ball is. And since it's an EM, EMs are really well designed and clever and everything, but they're not active, you know, so it can't really tell you right now where the ball is until you hit a switch or something, and then it does something. So anyway, so the ball's over here, shoots out through this gate, goes up this way. Let's see if it does what it's supposed to do. Now, the bonuses both went back down to 5,000. And these lights are on. It's saying score bonus indicated by lit red arrow when ball leaves playfield. So it's saying that you're going to get the left bonus. This game is super complex. Got all kinds of stuff going on. So if I hit the left one. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. I made this mistake last time. It says advances left bonus, but it's not this switch. It's when you land in the saucer. So when I hit that, I got 10 points. That one's also giving me 10 points. By the way, this is going to have, this is going to be really loud. So you're going to, it's got chimes in it and they're loud as heck. This one says advanced left bonus. Okay, so that worked. But this one didn't seem to work. Oh, it's just missing. That one's misadjusted. We got to work on that one. Advance, right, bonus, switch. I got it to work by pressing it, but okay. So we've got 3,030 points. So I'm going to land it here. It'll give me 5,000, and we'll see if it advances the left bonus. So it advanced it twice. Not sure if it should have done that. And it gave us 5,000. So let's try it again, see if it advances it twice each time. It does appear to do that. So if we toggle this over to here, I'm not sure how to do that. There we go. So that bounced it over there. Let's see if it does the same on this one. If it advances twice, and if it gives us 5,000 points. So at 13,150. It did advance it twice, and we're at 18,150, and it gave us 5,000 points. So that's working properly. Okay, so the pop bumpers themselves, getting 100 points each time. That was weird how you didn't hear the chime. What's up with that? I think it's all right though. Okay, so that's cool. Okay, now we got to do the spinner. Are you ready? Now on a spinner, on these spinners, it doesn't really matter which way you go. It's easier for me to do it like this. We spent a whole lot of time in the previous video working on the spinner units, which make these lights move. And it's on 5-ball, so there's 2 places on the little board where you should get an added bonus. So we're going to test that theory. So I'm going to move it and then move it back. And each time I do it, it should make this go up 1. And when we get up to, I think it was the 6th position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we get about here, and then here, it should give us a step here. So when this turns upside down, there is a switch that this little metal piece is pulling on. And so when it closes, it gives you a score, right? Now watch for that to move. Okay, so our 4th bulb's out. Okay, so I think on this next one, maybe it'll move. Yep. And then it must have hit it again when I let go of it. And I think it's going to do it again on the last one. Or maybe it's when it moves off the last one. Something like that. So it looks like we're about right. Right? So I'm happy with that. Let's try the other one. Our 4th light bulb's out though. So over here, we must be at the place where it just gave 1 or something. So when it moves to here, maybe it'll do it. Yep, seems to have worked. All the bulbs are working. That time it didn't do it, I don't think. It's doing it there. It did it that time, I believe. So cool. All right. So we'll keep our eye on that one. And that one, the 4th light, the 4th bulb. 4th, right, spinner, bulb. Left, spinner, bonus. Look, people, I can read it. I can read it. Don't worry about it. Okay, we're just trying to get it where everything is working about how it should, right? So little minor things we're looking for. So A, B, C, and D, what are they supposed to do? It says, making drop targets A and B or C and D advances the star value from number 1 to number 4. That's here. So if you get 2 of them, it advances that up. Okay, so let's see if that works. So let's do B. Should give us 1,000 points. It did. And A. Gave us a whole bunch of thousands. Gave us like 5,000. So I guess that's right. What do you think? But it did advance that, which is more important, I guess. Okay. That gave us 1,000. It's giving us 6,000. So I guess 1,000 and then another 5 because you moved up or something. Let's try it again on this one. 1,000. So we're at 68,000. Now we're at 74,000. So it's giving you 1,000 for it dropping. And then it's giving you 5,000 because you got both down or whatever. So I think that's working properly. All right, and then the stars actually mean something. So making the number 1 star scores double bonus. Making number 2 star lights the 2 bottom inside rollover lanes alternately for an extra ball. When the number 4 star is lit, the 2 bottom outside rollover lanes light alternately to score 1 extra ball. I wonder if the 3rd one ever does anything. Yeah. When red number 3 star is lit, the 2 bottom outside rollover lanes light alternately to score 1 extra ball. So that's just the way that you can adjust it. They must have it adjusted since this is the original card that was in it. They must have some kind of adjustment set so that you have to get to number 4 before the special turns on. Okay, so let's test it one more time. And it lit the special. And it says alternately, and you see this one, the in lane's lit and the out lane's lit, and it looked to me like that the kickers are what toggles it. Yeah, so now the other ones are lit. Okay, so since this one's not lit, it should just give me 10,000 points. And it did. But this one should give me 10,000 and light the same player shoots again. Perfect. Okay, and so the outside one, it looks like they've got set where the special is an extra ball. But you can't get more than 1 extra ball per game because all it does is save your ball after you lose it. Okay. All right, so we're looking pretty good. We haven't tested the special yet. So we're at 101,360. And the double bonus is lit. There's 50,000, so this should all count down when the ball goes in the out hole, and so we should end up with an extra 100,000 points. So we should go to 201,000. So here, I'll let you watch it down here. Dun 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 dun. That didn't sound right. That sounded like 70,000. Yep. Okay, so the left bonus is not counting down right. All right, same player shoots again. It's lit up there too, and we're still on ball 1. So that will stay lit until you score something usually. So it turned it off. But since we're still on ball 1, it's still going to score this bonus when it counts down. So what were we? Oh, we were going to check the special. Okay. So you do that with the bonuses. With 1, 2, 3, 4. So special when lit, 10,000, or special when lit. So when I lose this one, I should get 10,000 points and advance the left bonus. So we're at 199. We're at 209 now, so that worked. And it moved the left bonus. So this one should advance the right bonus and let us shoot again. So advance the right bonus. It didn't let us shoot again though. Did you hear though what it did? That noise you're hearing is the knocker. It's giving us a free game. So why is it doing that? It's because they've got the special set to give a free game instead of a free ball. So this is just the wrong card. On here it says you get one extra ball, but in reality you get a free game. Okay, so we're pretty good. I'm going to run this up a little more though, just so we can get in our head again that that's not right. So we're at 40,000. It should give us a double. We're at 269, so we should go to 349. Let's watch it down here because we can see it skip. Dun 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 dun. So that's 6. Dun 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 dun. I think it was 6. So we're at 329. What did I just say? We should be at 349, I believe. Yeah, so that's definitely not counting down right. So now we're on the second player, ball number 1. Okay, so I'm just going to check the score reels by scoring. I'm basically just trying to see if they all roll over. And they do. Then the hundreds. Okay. And then thousands. I don't even know how we're going to do that. Oh, here we go. Well, nope. I think this gives us 500. Yeah. What's an easy way to do thousands? I don't have the spinner lit for 1,000 yet. Oh, the drop targets. Seems to be just fine. And then the 10,000s. So you're just making sure that it goes from 9 to 10. You know. Just, you know, there's no way to score 100,000. So the only way to do it is to roll over from the 10,000. So all of those seem to be rolling over to the next value properly as they should. We can mess with the left one a little bit more just to get a little more information. So it should be double 20, so we should get 40. We're at 234. So it works up to 40. It seems like it skipped somewhere in through here whenever it skipped that one time. Okay. Third player up, same thing. Seems fine. Seems fine. Seems fine. Okay. Seems fine. So let's run this up. Now we're at 25, and it should be we should get 50, so it should go to 192. 192. Okay. So up to 25 looks like you worked just fine. Fourth player, same thing. Seems good. Seems good. 5,000 points. I went too quick. 30,000, so I should get 60,000 because we're on double bonus. 225. Only got 195. Boy, it went quick that time, didn't it? Whew, lightning fast. Okay, so all of that. Now we're on ball 2. Back on player 1. Folks, I know this is tedious, but this is what we have to go through to test all this stuff. Takes a little while, okay? So these lights have not lit up because they're either burned out or something's wrong. I've got it written down here. We noticed that on the last video. But now on ball 2, you're working this bonus ladder. This is the one that you're going to keep at the end of the ball, okay? So same thing. I guess if you spin the spinner fast enough, eventually you get plenty of a bonus. Okay, so we're at 50,000 points. Let's double it. We're at double bonus, 50,000 points. We're going to score that one out, so we should get 100,000. So we should go to 457. Boom! So the right one's doing it. Right one's working just fine. All right. Second player, ball number 2, something similar. The chimes can't keep up. 50,000. Let's try just 50,000 without it being doubled. Because then it has to do, I think it actually has to do more work that way, because it has to do it 5,000 at a time. So we're at 284, we should go to 334. $334. Perfect. Okay, so this one is working fine. The right one's working exactly as it should. Boy, this one's nice and snappy. That's the third player. Fourth player. Okay, so we're on the first player again on the left bonus again. So let's try not doing the double bonus and see where we get. So we're at 50,000. So it's going to have to count down 5 each time. Okay. So we should end up at 597. $597. Okay, so do you see what's going on? This one's working fine. This one works fine if it's doing 5,000 at a time, because it has to go slower. It has to do 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, and it works perfect. But if it's doubled, then that means it has to do 10,000 at each step, and there's a 10,000 point relay. So it doesn't have to fire 5 times on each light. It can just do 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, and work all the way down really quick. It literally is going 10 times faster. Is that right? 5 times faster. It's going 5 times faster. Because for each spot, it only has to pulse 1 time. Pulls in the 10,000 point relay, then moves to here, pulls in the 10,000 point relay, then moves to here, pulls in the 10,000 point relay, moves to here, pulls in the 10,000 point relay, and keeps going. When it's not doubled, it has to do them 5,000 at a time. So it has to pull in the 1,000 point relay 5 times. Doon, 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 doon. Doon, 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 doon. Doon, 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 doon. So it's going 5 times quicker whenever it's doubled, which is what's causing us to miss some. So there's something in the schematics we'll have to find on that. This side seems to be working fine, though. So I think that we've found everything that's acting up. I guess we need to see if ball and play number 3 is burnt out. This game is so great, you can score the bonus in the middle of the game. We're letting it play a little more. Kickers seem to be working fine. Okay, ball and play number 4. All right, so I'm going to go through and just end the game just to make sure that it runs through ball 5 of all 4 players, to make sure that it goes to game over afterwards. But this is our list here, so we'll work through it and figure it all out. So let's do some of the easy ones first. So one of the things was this one reel doesn't reset properly. So if you look really close, You know, I've often talked about how there's these two switches here that need to be closed until it gets back to 0. This top one opens up the reset relay in the bottom of the cabinet and makes it where it no longer gets power. So it should be closed when you're not on 0. We're on 7. Okay, so if you look and if you touch it a little bit, see how the big blade and the little blade are moving at the same time? It's because they're touching. They're connected. Now this middle one is the one that the reset relay, the score reset relay, uses to reset this reel. If you look, there's a brown and black wire here that loops around and is what actually feeds the coil. So as long as that switch is closed, the reset relay, when it pulls in, the score reset relay, when it pulls in, it will send power through that switch to pull the coil in. And then once it gets back to 0, that switch opens, and this no longer can get power through the score reset relay, but it can still get power through the 10-point relay, or the 10,000 point relay, because it has there's two wires. One comes from there, and one comes from this switch, right? So if that switch is open, you just can't get power that way anymore. You have to get it through the direct connection. So if you look really close, it looks like it's right. But if you touch it a little bit, you can see that they don't quite move in tandem. It's touching, but it's not really touching. So it needs to be adjusted a little tighter, and that should make it where that one resets, just like all the other ones. Okay, so we have our one here that won't reset. Let's see if that fixed it. Very cool. It didn't kick the ball out because it was already out. Alright, so I think we got that. So we'll mark it off the list. So next up, ball and play number 3, and this thing is popped loose. So let's pull the back glass off and look at that stuff. Okay, so the ball and play number 3 light bulb, it just popped out of its socket. And the piece of paper up there with the fake dummy score reel needs some tape. George is messing with us again. Look at this. George, why would you do that? He wants to play pranks. If you don't know, George is the house ghost. Alright, so I'm going to put some glue on it. Super glue will do it. Okay, so next up, this one over here that says Advanced Right Bonus. Like if I hit this one, watch this. Right, and then you also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 500 points. Right? Now on this one, it just doesn't work as good. I call this a smash switch. I don't know what they're really called. But there's 3 switches there, and when you hit them, instead of it making 2 blades touch together, it just makes 3 blades touch together. Right? So if you mess with it enough, it works. It must just be dirty. So I'm going to clean it a little bit, and hopefully that'll fix that. It's just one of the things we wrote down just because it's acting up. Okay, so it seems to be working good now. I think we're good. It's maxed out, so we can't go any higher. Okay, that's that. On to the next one. So the 4th right spinner bulb, it must have just not liked the way I was barely moving it, because if you spin it, it lights up just fine. Alright, so that's not an issue. Cross it off the list! Okay, so when you get to ball 2 and ball 4, it's supposed to light up this arrow. But it doesn't. So we're on ball 3. Okay, so it's now trying to score over here. So first thing I'm going to do is change the bulbs and see if that fixes it. We might get lucky. And if that doesn't, we're going to figure out what turns on those bulbs. Well, it's as simple as the bulbs were burnt out. Now, usually we replace all the light bulbs, but we didn't on this particular one because the customer had already done it. They'd worked through it a little bit, so and none of the other ones are out. So I don't know how that happened, but for whatever reason, those 2 bulbs were burnt out, and they look brand new. So, that's an easy one. Now our next issue is the flipper. The flipper is machine gunning, right? So when I hit this one, get a nice little flip. When you hit this one, not so much. So it's jumping around a little bit sometimes. Sometimes worse than others. Yeah, like that. Okay, so we got to check that out. Now, by the way, if you didn't see the previous videos, see how there's drag on the playfield? If you go down below to the comments, you're going to see some people leaving me a comment, and this is what the comment will be on this video. Now, I'm predicting the future because, as you can tell, I'm filming the video right now. The comment will be, you ought to replace those flipper bushings. They start wearing out. The flipper will drag on the playfield. Because they'll see that wear and think that earlier in the video, but then they don't watch the whole video. They're just jumping around. Right? But you know, if you watched the previous video, that we already fixed it. That's just damage on the playfield. So they're not dragging. They just look like they're dragging, but they're not dragging. But whenever that's machine gunning like that, it's usually something to do with the center lug of the flipper coil. So we'll pop it up and look at that. So here's the flipper coil. There are 3 lugs. So there are 2 windings inside the flipper, right? So if you have a bad connection on one of these 3 lugs, it will still work, but that brrr is because it's one of the windings is cutting in and out. So it can be the end of stroke switch, or it can be solder, usually on the center lug. If you look real close, you can see that they have the wire coming out of that hole and then wrapping around the lug. There's 2 of them on the middle one. So if one of those isn't soldered properly, or it's soldered a little bit, that will cause that. So I'm going to resolder all 3 of those and see if that fixes the problem. Alright, so I resoldered it. It's not the prettiest thing, but we definitely got on that middle one. The reason it's usually the middle one is because if it's this one, so a loop goes from here all the way around and then connects to there, and then from there all the way around and connects to there. The power goes from here to here through a big line. If this one was broke, the whole flipper wouldn't work. Or if this one was broke, the whole flipper wouldn't work. So it's almost always a connection in the middle. So it's it'll be one of the wires is cut. Maybe this one to this one, so that it bypasses the end of stroke switch or something. I don't know. It's almost always you have a little broken tiny wire, or it's not soldered well on the middle lug. So, and I say solder. I keep having people criticize the way I say solder, and then you go watch their videos, and they're like this. Well, yeah, not leave it like that, mate. Maybe I touched that up quite a bit, right? Don't you think? Wouldn't it be proper? Right? And I'm like, buddy, you talk with such a heavy accent yourself that I had to get a damn dictionary out to try to figure out what you're saying. Don't we all have accents? Right? No matter where you are in the world, we all say things a different way. Why the hell would you criticize somebody for that? You know what the hell I mean? If I say solder, you know what I mean. Right? Am I wrong? My mother taught me how to say solder. What kind of crap is that? I didn't even know how to speak till I met her. Criticizing how my mom talks. What's up with that? All right, so we got it on there. So we're going to try it again and see if the flipper still does this number. Come on, people. Come on, people. You don't have to say it right. Just say it with some emotion. Maybe not emotion, maybe passion. So I'll show you what I mean. We're gonna test the flipper. Damn, it did it again. Oh, come on, man. It must not be fixed. Oh, man, look. Oh, I didn't even fix it. It must be the damn solder. All right, so I cleaned the little switch on the side of the cabinet. The end of stroke switch looked fine, but the switch on the side was a little pitted and it was adjusted pretty far out. So that could do it too. You know, if it touches but not very good, it might. So let's see if it's any better. Still got a little something there. We'll play it a little bit and make sure that it's all right, but I think we're think we're better than we were. Okay, so that's that. And, oh, Matt's here. Matt, I want you to tell me, what is this called?
That looks like a roll of solder to me.
How'd you say that?
Solder?
Solder?
Yeah.
That's how I say it, too. They keep giving me hell because I'm saying solder wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it sounds like you should spell it S-A-U-T, but it's, you know, S-O-L-D-R. D-E-R, excuse me.
Yeah. They always say that S-O-D-D-E-R. They're like mocking me for the way I'm saying it. But you say it the same way.
Right, yeah.
All the people I know
Solder.
say it that way. It's obviously the right way to say it.
I mean, it's just like salmon. Like, no one says salmon. Like, no one says salmon.
Yeah, exactly.
Salmon.
Exactly. See? Hey, look, people. We're in 100% agreement. There's only two of us here, and we both agree. And you can't even argue it because you're not here.
So, yeah, 100% agreement.
Yep.
Scientific consensus.
Exactly. That's how science works. Okay, so we're on to our next part. On the thing it says, the left bonus ain't counting down right. And that's the last thing left. So we're going to have to look into the schematics and see exactly what trickery, what kind of craziness they thought up to make that not count 5 at a time, but 1 at a time on the 10,000. So we're going to look in the schematics and see how they wired that up. Okay, folks, so here we go. We're going to figure this out finally, once and for all the times. We did this in the first video a little bit, but we're going to go through it this time, okay? So the ball lands in the out hole switch. We're trying to figure out why the left bonus doesn't count down right. The ball lands on the out hole switch. That connects power up here through the delay relay, which is normally connected, so it hasn't been done yet. And the a switch on the motor, on the index, it hasn't changed yet. It's just sitting there. That's all connected. It sends power through the out hole switch because you just dropped the ball on it, right? The alternator relay, for the sake of giggles, for the sake of discussion, we'll say that it is set over to the left bonus unit. See how if that changes, it can go through the left or the right? But we're going to say it's on the left, and that works because that's the one that we're having problems with. So the alternator relay has a switch sending power through that switch over to the left bonus unit. The zero position switch, I have figured out how they have it stated, right? If you notice, whenever the game starts, it's not at zero position on the bonus units. It's at the first position because it steps up. It's at 5,000 points. So this zero position switch in its normal position at ball 1, right, is not at 0. It has stepped up. So that is connected if you're not at 0. So zero position switch is normally connected here. When you get to 0, this changes, and now this would be connected down here. But we're not at 0. We've got 50,000 points we're trying to score, right? So the power goes through here, through that switch. Now remember, we looked at all that. It's all good. It's all gravy, baby. And it turns on the left bonus relay. So that's what happens when the ball lands in the out hole and you have 50,000 points on it. It turns on the left bonus relay. So that's the very first thing that it does. We're going to write that down. The left bonus relay is now turned on. And that pulls in and it connects a bunch of switches. One of the switches it connects is a switch on itself, right? That sends it power until the left bonus unit gets to 0, a break switch, right? So there is one switch that goes back and forth at 0, and then there's one that opens at 0. So until that one opens, until the left bonus unit gets to 0, that will stay closed. And so the left bonus relay is turned on and is going to stay on. It's holding itself on. Here is the score motor. The left bonus relay, if it is closed, which it is, we just saw it closed, right? Or it will be the right one as well. Where is it at? Where's the right one? Well, there it is. They're hiding it. or the right bonus relay, but again, we're just focusing on the left one. The left bonus relay, once it's pulled in, it provides power to the score motor. So it starts the score motor turning, and that sucker's going to keep on turning. It will not stop because the left bonus relay has now locked itself on, right? So now the score motor is turning. It's doing its thing. Now that the score motor is turning, and will turn until that thing gets back to 0, this impulse switch is going to hit 5 times every time the score motor turns back around to its home position. So the score motor on this one, I think, has 2 or 3 home positions, and as it turns, it will close this switch 5 times. Okay, so bap, 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 bam. Okay, it is a gray and white wire. So the score motor's turning, and that particular switch is closing 5 times each time that the score motor turns from home position to home position. That gray and white wire connects to here, so it's going to close. It's going to send power down this line 5 times as that switch closes. Okay, the ball index relay closes whenever you score anything on the playfield. So as soon as you start the game, as soon as you score something, it does that, right? And then here's our left bonus relay. Well, it's pulled in, remember? So it's pulled in. And here's our number 1 star relay. Now remember, if we don't have the star on, you get 1,000 point. So you're getting 5,000 points each time. If we do have that pulled in, you're going to get 10,000 points 5 times, right? Because it's connected to that impulse that's going to close 5 times. So it's going to go doon, 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 if the left bonus relay or the right bonus relay. But if the left bonus relay is pulled in, if the star relay is pulled in or is not pulled in, it's going to do it on the 1,000 point relay. If it is pulled in, it's going to get it on the 10,000 point relay. But think about that. It needs to move 5 spots if it's on the 10,000 point relay. If it stayed on the one light, so if it's on the 1,000 point relay, it needs to stay on the light until it creates the full 5 pulses to give you 5,000 points for each light. But that's not what's going on. We're getting 10,000 points each light, and it's moving 5 lights as it scores. So they've got it timed where it moves through the lights and gives you 10,000 points each time. So I was saying it moves 5 times as fast. It's actually moving, what, 10 times as fast? Let me do the math here. So by the time it pulses 5 times faster, it's moving 5 times faster because it's moving through 5 lights in 5 pulses. Whereas on the other one, it's moving through 1 light on 5 pulses. So it's moving 5 times faster if you've got the double relay turned on. So that instead of giving you 1,000, it can pulse the 10,000 and then move 5 lights. So how in the world does it do that? So the score motor is going to keep turning as long as this bonus relay is on, right? Because that's what's holding it on. So it's either giving you 1,000 points or it's giving you 10,000 points every time that impulse switch closes. So here is the left bonus reset and the right bonus reset. Now notice both of these go through a little impulse on the score motor, so as it's turning it will reset these, but only if the out hole relay is on. Our out hole relay is not on yet. Even though the ball is in the out hole, it has not turned on this relay yet because we're still doing math. So all of this is irrelevant. So what you need is this little line here. Look at this little jumper. So our left bonus reset comes down here, and look, the left bonus relay is pulled in, right? So that's closed. And then look at this little jumper here, tying these two together, right? So we go back, and here we have our number 1 star relay. Okay, so it's connected to power here. Let's say it's not on. So we're not doubled yet, right? We haven't doubled it. So this star relay is not on. It's connected normally through here, through a switch on cam 5. You know that sucker's going to hit 5 times probably, right? And if the left bonus relay is on, which it is, as that turns, it's going to drop this thing 5, well, if I got this right, that may not be 5 impulses. It's on 5A. Let's go look. Here is 5A. Cam 5, it only has 1 impulse, so there's 2 homes. I know you may get lost in this. If you do, I apologize. I'm just trying to... Right and left bonus reset. Cam 5. See how there's only 1 impulse? There's 2, but it's because the home... there's 2 home positions, so it turns half a turn and it's back at another home position. So on cam 5, there's only 1 little bump. Okay. So we turned on the score motor. It's turning. The number 1 star relay hasn't been pulled in, so the power is coming through here through cam 5, and it will bump 1 time, right? Connects down through here. The right bonus relay is not on because we're not on the right bonus. And then the left bonus relay is on. So that 1 bump, boom, will drop this 1 time. Boom, right? From home position to home position as the score motor is turning. But remember, on the other thing, we were just showing the impulse would impulse the 1,000 point relay 5 times. Doon, 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 right? Well, let's say that the number 1 star relay is in. So now down on the other part of the schematics, it's switched over to the 10,000 point relay. And it's going to bump it 5 times. Boom, doon, 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 as we turn from home position to home position. Okay? So while it's doing that, this has pulled in. So now the power is connecting, and it's not going through that switch. It's going through this switch on the impulse, right? And then the same way, it's connecting through the left bonus relay, which is closed, to that. So this switch, it says impulse C, right? So the impulse cam is right there. C, right and left bonus reset. Not to be confused with this right and left bonus reset. But you see, as this cam turns around from home position to home position, it has 5 bumps on it. So you can see how genius this is. As the cam turns, it will turn from home position to home position. If the number 1 star relay is not pulled in, so your double bonus is not on, it will reset this 1 spot. Down on the other side, it will hit the 1,000 point relay 5 times. Doon, 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 doon. And then it keeps turning because you're not at 0 yet. And this goes through another transition from home position to home position. And it'll do it again. It'll drop this 1 time while it scores 1,000 points 5 times. If your double bonus relay comes on, which is this one, it will switch over to here. Well, now it's on the other part of the schematics. It's scoring 10,000 points 5 times. Doon, 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 doon. But this is switched over to here, so since it's on the impulse, it will also drop the light 5 times. Doon, 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 doon. Brilliant. Who the hell thought that up? Right? So it keeps going, keeps going. Well, we've probably just found our problem. So our problem is this is moving 5 times, but you're not getting all 5 of the, or it may have even moved more than 5 times. You're not getting all 5 of the points, right? Well, it's probably not the. It may be the switch down on the number 1 star relay that goes from 1,000 to 10,000. But if it was, the left and the right would be doing it, right? So let me see if I can move back down to that. Remember, the right one's not doing it. So the 1,000 point and 10,000 point is switched between by this little switch here. Well, if that switch was messed up, the right bonus relay would screw up too. Right? If this switch was messed up, it would screw up whenever it was doing the 1,000 point thing too, but it doesn't. It must have something to do with how quickly it's resetting that light. Moving the position on the bonus unit. Okay. So it's just moving it too fast. It can't be this switch because none of this comes into play until the out hole relay comes on, and if it was this switch, it would do the same thing with the right bonus. Okay. It may be this switch, but if it did, it wouldn't work right on the 5,000 point. It's screwing up on the 1,000 point. It's screwing up on the 10,000 point. So it's probably this switch. But if it was this switch, it would screw up the right one too. It's interesting. So it's something in this area. So I'm gonna look on the system and see if I can find one of these that isn't adjusted right. Something doesn't look right. But they're all common, you know. So like both of these work for the left and the right. So for the right one to work, this one must be fine. This one must be fine. There's something that's just for the left bonus. So maybe it's the mech itself is just resetting too fast or something. Let me go look at that and see if I can tell if anything looks wrong or misadjusted or what the deal is. But the way it's wired, it's all kind of, if the left one's working, the right one should be working. It could be, I guess, well, since it's doing it so fast, it could be the switch on the actual left bonus relay. I think I'll clean it first. If those switches are adjusted too far apart, it might miss some of them or something like that if it's moving too fast. So maybe that's the first thing I look at. So this is the right bonus relay, that is the left bonus relay. The difference, one of the differences I'm seeing, is that someone has modified the spring on this one a little bit. So they've shortened the spring to make it tighter, to make that pull in quicker. Now why would they do that? Well, when this pulls in, so we're looking at the right one. So let's say we're up on 10 spots or something like that. When it pulls in, our problem is this is pulling in and we're going more than one spot. So when this pulls in, we've stepped up, we're going to step back down. So you see what's going on here? As this pulls in to release this catches it. So it only drops one spot. And then it releases it and does it again. So this one is adjusted so that it catches here before it lets go here. Right. And that way it only drops one spot. Well, if you watch the other one, whenever it drops, it's missing a couple. So instead of turning one turn, it's turning a couple turns. I mean, it's missing a couple. So let's look at that a little closer. Okay, so looking at that little gear, it looked like there was a little bit of wear where it meets the cog. So, although I don't suggest always doing this, to compensate for the wear, I made the spring slightly shorter. Right, so I cut off the end of it, I cut a few coils, made it a little bit tighter, so that it'll pull it into that gear a little quicker. So let's see if that has fixed it. And I believe actually we could probably just try to score the bonus here, right, instead of losing the ball. Okay, so let's try it again. If I'd hit it right. So on one like this, the reason that sometimes it's not working when I hit it is because there's two switches. So you have to, if you're hitting it with your finger, sometimes you don't do it right. One switch gives you the points, that's the noise you're hearing, and another switch advances the bonus. Okay, so double bonus is on. Alright, so it's not letting it slip because I've got that spring a little tighter. I'll show you how it ended up going. Basically now the spring is pulling it in quicker to the gear so that it doesn't slip a few steps. So with wear up here and wear on this end, I shortened this spring a little bit. And so now it's just going to pull that into the gear quicker. So when it starts doing it fast, it makes sure that it catches it each time instead of letting it slip a couple extra like it was doing. So I think that was our issue. So now all that's left is we're going to test play it a little bit. All right, folks, so let's play a quick game. I'll probably never even build the left bonus all the way up to test it, but we'll try. Flipper seems all right. What a cool game. This is one of the really good of the 70s EMs. I mean, this thing rocks. Just a smooth game. I left it on 5 balls. I usually put them on 3 balls, but this is a customer's, and I think they've had it in the family for a long time, so whenever I get them like that I'm working on, I leave them however they're set up, just because I don't want to steal their memories, you know what I mean? Like, they may remember playing it and it was 5 balls and that's how they like it and that's how they remember it, or 3 balls. And I'd rather just leave it how they had it so that it still plays like it did, you know, in 1983 when they used to play it in the basement. That was a weird one there. These flippers are nice and strong. It's just a well-designed game. You got to remember, by the late 70s, the pinball companies were in a groove. I mean, they're all good. Any of the Gottliebs are good. Most of the Williams are good. I love all the Bally's. You could argue that the Bally's in the 70s, every one of them was good, you know. Freaking cool game. Oh, almost. Oh, all right. So I think we got it fixed. So there you go. Leave your comments below. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. Should I do a video where I show them like more of playing it, Matt, and I let you play it?
I mean, if you want to see what bad play looks like, sure.
We'll have to do that since Matt's here. So leave your comments below. Make sure you let us know what you think. We'd like to thank everybody that's been using our Amazon links. If you don't know about that, if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, down below, you can. We have a link to Amazon, and if anything you purchase on there gives us a tip. So we had a customer send me a note, and the note says, if I can find it. I'm looking for it. Here it is. I found it. We got a package from one of, I said a customer, not a customer, a viewer. This is from Scott. It says, they do sell Ferraris on Amazon. Who would have guessed? I couldn't resist. Merry Christmas. Enjoy the 3% too, from Scott. Scott, we appreciate it, buddy. So I always say in the videos, if you if you follow one of the links for the things that we use to repair our stuff, we make like 3% on it. So if you if you buy one of the little tubes of grease or whatever, it's like $6. So we make like 18 cents or something, right? So we're not getting rich off of it. But if you buy anything else after you click the link, we get 3% of that too. It doesn't have to be one of the things that we link to, right? So I always say, you could go buy the synthetic grease that we use, or you could go buy a Ferrari, right? And we get 3% if somebody buys a Ferrari. So Scott went ahead and bought a Ferrari on Amazon. I got to open it up so I can show everybody. Well, I bet this video is like an hour and a half long. Now, I'm the type, I don't keep my toys in the box.
These are really cool cards, right?
Uh-huh. I don't keep my toys in the box, people. I'm the type that opens them. So we're opening it up. We're doing an unboxing here. It's just you don't get to see it. What the heck? All right. I've gotten it loose. Look at that. So I now have a Ferrari that somebody bought on Amazon through my link, and I got 3% of it. That looks like that was probably a $20 Ferrari too. I'm making big bucks now. I might have made 60 cents on that one. So thank you, Scott. We appreciate it. So we appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was fun fixing it. And make sure also to check out my brother, Donnie. If you don't know about that, that's our brother channel. I'm over there with him usually. And we're usually working on old buildings that we've bought that we're fixing up in a small town near here. So if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. Thank you, Scott. We'll see you on the next video, folks. I'll set this up so that Matt can play it a little bit, and we'll put that on the next video.